Hello everyone, welcome back to the Tech Sharmit podcast. Today I am here with another special guest, Vipin Jain. Vipin is currently serving as a testing head and project delivery manager. In the software industry, he is known as a leader who has dedicated his career to enhancing software quality through cutting edge agile methodology, advanced Jira proficiency, and robust test automation framework. So today, apart from this, as a Microsoft certified solution developer and an international speaker, he has been doing instrumental in setting enterprise test standard, defining quality metrics, and sharing his expertise with the global community. So today in this episode, we will talk about his leadership role, his contribution to the IT industry, and many more things. But before we proceed further with this session, I would like to thank Vipin for joining us today in this episode. And now I request you to please initiate the discussion by telling us something about yourself.
Thank you, Amit, or Tech Sharmit, for having me on this podcast. Uh, about me, I think you have already spoken a few things, right? Especially about my uh, technical credentials. Uh, but one thing is like I started my career as a developer, uh, which is like almost with everyone way back in early 2000. But due to some company requirements, or you may say it was destined. I was moved into a software testing role in 2003. And since then, till now, I am a tester by heart. So, started as a junior tester and I grew to a role of delivery managers now. And then, of course, I am leading two huge accounts, one in US and one in UK. But still, I am a tester at heart. So, and in between this journey, I also tried my hands on speaking on international stage. Uh, in 2012, I got my first speaking assignment, which I spoke on automation in Spain. And by God's grace, from 2012 till 2025, uh, I have spoken about 48 times on various European stages. So this gave me a lot of travel. This gave me a lot of networking. This gave me a lot of friends all around the world. Uh, and but most importantly, on this entire journey, uh, my journey would be incomplete if I don't take the name of my company, MetaCube Softwares. I joined the company as a very junior guy in 2003, and it's 2025. I am still with the same company. I would say the environment, the I mean, I would say the mind state or of the bosses,
Mhm.
my friends there. Uh, it was so open. Everything is so open there that I think whatever I am today, whatever I am able to achieve, right, that is because of that open environment.
Okay.
So I saw the company grew. When I joined, I was, I think, employee number 26. Today we are 1,500 people. And the company saw me growing from one role to another, and they kept on giving me new roles. So I would say, one of the God's favorite child. And I got everything from my life, whatever I aspired for. And all the credit goes to, of course, my family and then definitely my company.
Okay. All right, Vipin. So, as I mentioned, that in this global community or throughout your network, you are popular as a leader who has a great vision and who has the passion to do his work with a great proficiency. But I just want to know the real Vipin Jain. So, let's say if I take away all your job title and certification and credentials, so how would you define or introduce the Vipin to the world?
Uh, I would say Vipin Jain changed from what he was 20 years ago and what he is today. But I think at heart, if I try to analyze who I am or what do I love, I think I love interacting with people.
Okay.
Networking is, I think, one of my passions, one of my favorite hobbies. Um, when I was very young, even in my school, I got a lot of friends. Uh, I was able to talk to everyone. Few people talk to me just because they can copy my homework so that
Okay.
they can also submit their homework on time. And few contacted me because I was good orator. Um, I got good opportunities like the debating contest, story writing contest. So I think from very early childhood, I was quite a popular person with teachers and with fellow friends, and those friendships continued. And then when I got into my computer institute systems, the people whom I taught, the people who taught me, and my batchmates, we all are still connected, right? Because it's not just about uh, like sitting or talking to lots of people. It's about remembering those small things. Like, for example, I generally try not to forget someone's birthday,
Okay.
whether it's a Facebook, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's WhatsApp. I try to wish them if I remember, right? Similarly, let's say some anniversaries or some accolade someone has achieved, someone has done a certification. Um, it's a very small thing, but when you say that, oh, congratulations, someone else will notice that, okay, Vipin remembered wishing me on my special day. It's a very small thing, but when you look at from a larger perspective, it actually goes a long way. So that networking helped me a lot in every aspect of life. And the best part is whenever I travel to any city of the world, right, I generally put on Facebook or LinkedIn that, hello everyone, I will be in Chicago from this date to this date. If there are any friends who want to meet me or something, let's meet. This is my hotel or whatever. And believe me, almost in every city, almost in every city across Europe and US, there were schoolmates, there were computer classes mates, there were my students or my teachers. They all somehow came or called me, or we met for a lunch or dinner or coffee. So it's like always a home away from home.
Yes.
So that is, I think, somewhere imbibed in me. And what I am is I am a people's person. I love people, and I am always love people, having people around me. I'm not someone who wants to sit alone.
Okay.
So that is, I think, true Vipin. Doesn't matter I'm in computers or not, even if it's something different. I might have, and this is my dream. Maybe when I retire from this IT, if ever there is a retirement in IT, my dream is to open a cafe or something like that. But again, if you see this in cafe, people keep coming every day.
Yes.
So I will be interacting with those people. That is what is my aim is.
Okay. And we can clearly see that since your childhood, you are a team leader because the way you have helped your friends in your school days and now helping in the organization, it is clearly seen that you are a team leader. Okay. So
Yeah.
moving forward, Vipin, like now we all know that you are serving as a testing head and project delivery manager. But what was the path? What was the story behind your first job to till the position you are here? How was your trajectory throughout the day, throughout your journey?
So sure. I just mentioned that I started my career as a developer,
Yeah.
and those Microsoft certifications that you mentioned earlier, that was part of that development journey, developer's journey. When I became a developer and continued in Microsoft platform, uh, there was one project which MetaCube got, and they were in need of someone who can do scripting, which in modern days we call it as automation scripts,
Okay.
right? But it was a tool-based scripting. It was not a complete language. I still remember the name. It was Silk Test. Silk Test has lots of other products as well. It's a bunch of products. So Silk Test was a functional automation tool. It also has another product, Silk Performer, which is a performance-based tool. It was a tool made by Segway, which is an Irish company, and which was later acquired by Borland. Everyone remembers Borland by C language, Borland C, if you remember,
Yes.
right? So that was the case, and then I was the chosen one. So and I was completely against it. I discussed with my boss. I said, "Sir, it's not possible. I'm a developer. You are making me a QA, and I don't like QA because what all QA does, it reads some requirements, it see a finished product, compare the requirements with what is happening, and then if it is right, pass it. If it is fail, logs a bug." I said, "No, there is no learning here. I cannot grow. And he was like, it's a small thing. It's just, still you have to write scripts. You are still thinking as a programmer. And those days, there were not many people around me whom I can call and ask, like, I'm getting moved into automation. Will it help me in my career?
Right.
Right. So I was like about 30 years old at that time. And but he said, no, no, let's do it. I said, okay. But I did it with all my enthusiasm. I did it all my zeal. And then the immediate next product that MetaCube got, and I was moved into there, that demanded the same thing. They demanded an automation person who can do scripting in Silk Test.
Okay.
And I was already trained in Silk Test in the previous project. So there was no other choice by my company or me. And we were like very less number of people in the company at that time. So I was moved there. And that project also gave me my first ever US trip.
Okay.
So I went to US for 25 days as an automation engineer. So I never traveled as a developer. I always traveled for the first time as an automation engineer. So
Okay.
as I told you that QA gave me all my travels, testing gave me all my travels. This was the first ever travel way back in 2025. And then immediately in 2026, I went to another city, on the same profile. So uh, although I was relatively junior, but somehow I was the only person in my role
Okay.
because there were not many people doing automation. So those things grew. And then 2009, I got my first Europe-based project, which was based in London. And again, I got to travel there. So within my first 5, 6 years of my career, I traveled twice to US and once to London. So all the dreams of getting into IT and traveling around the world and seeing the bigger cities like Pittsburgh, San Francisco, London, they were like right in front of me. And within first 6 years of my career, I was able to travel to these cities. So I would say my perception about traveling, my perception about work, uh, my perception about bigger cities, they changed because I am all my life a Jaipur guy. Of course, Jaipur is not a very small city, but when you go 20 years back, and 20 years back, Jaipur was a smaller city, and then you compare it to London, which is still a very, very big city, even in the 20 years back.
Yes.
So a small town boy going to London, that's a dream come true. And
Okay.
then I said, okay, this is something where I think my heart lies there. And then, of course, it was 6 years into QA, so I got my leadership role, first lead role. I became a team lead for about 3 or 4 people. Then after that project, I again moved back to a project where I was not a team lead. I was the only QA with 10 developers.
Okay.
There were literally 10 developers in the team. I was the only QA. And at that time, I was even testing in the night also. So I was testing in day, I was testing in night. I just opened laptop and keep checking whether something new comes in or not. So it became a passion for me. And when that project got over in 2011 or 2012, uh, because I was working in the night also for 2, 3 hours, I said, okay, there is nothing to test, but I am still, I cannot sleep early because that I would say um, my body clock changed because of
Mm-hmm.
that. So I
Right.
said, okay, let's start reading something. And when I start reading something, the new ideas come to your mind. When
Yes.
new ideas come to your mind, I started writing on LinkedIn, right? Because these are the new ideas. Automation cannot become successful if it is not given enough time, or
Mm-hmm.
automation is a mindset, or automation is a culture which should flow from top to bottom, right? It is not just about scripting. Those kind of ideas came to my mind. And
Okay.
I wrote that on LinkedIn. And then someone contacted me and said that these ideas look like coming from a real world. They don't come from a book knowledge or someone you are reading an article and doing this.
Correct.
And I replied, like, yeah, that's what I felt. And then he said, why don't you try in some conferences as a speaker? And I said, oh, are there any conferences? Because 2011, I got absolutely no idea about these conferences. And then he gave a links to a couple of Spanish conferences. And I said, okay, let me try that. But who is going to pay for the travel? That was
Okay.
again a bigger challenge.
Yes.
Uh, so those kind of small challenges keep coming in, but ultimately I sent a paper there. It got rejected, but it got rejected with lot of positive reviews.
Okay.
So no review said that the ideas are rubbish. Everyone said that the ideas are great, but the way the paper is written, the way the abstract is written, it looks like someone teaching in the class. It is
Okay.
not a professional presentation.
Mm-hmm.
And they were right because I told you in the my very first job was a teacher,
Right.
computer teacher. Then I became a developer. Then I became a tester. So I have seen IT from all angles, but I have not seen IT or talked to customers in that professional. It was always like a teacher mindset. So I changed my presentation. I resubmit again in a second conference, and I got rejected again. Luckily, in the third submission, I got selected.
Okay.
So when I actually went there in Spain, Bilbao, there is a conference called as QA and Test. When I went there, it really opened the world to me. And I said, wow, this is something I think I always wanted to do. Uh, always wanted to share my ideas on the world stage, the biggest stages. And there were like about 26 or 28 speakers all across the world. And I always thought that someone who is working in America or Netherlands or Germany or Britain, they are much smarter and much intelligent than me. But when I heard those people there, someone talks about agile, someone was talking about automation, someone was talking about Jira in 2012. And I was
Okay.
like, wow, these are the same things that I also do. That's the exact same process that we also follow. So how I am in any way less than those people? That
Correct.
means I can write more papers and I'll try submitting them again. And this motivation, this is actually uh, constantly providing me fuel to move forward. And from 2012 till 2025 now, uh, I have spoken 47 times across Europe in one of the almost all the biggest conferences, and still the zeal is here. I still want to write. I still looking for new ideas and everything. So when I started traveling, 2012, 2015, 2016, it changed my approach to my work also in my company
Okay.
because I got new ideas, I got more confident and other stuff. So company also gave me more opportunities. So then I became senior lead, then I became QA manager, then I became senior QA manager. And when you become a very senior QA manager, let's say a 20-year-old manager,
Mm-hmm.
but in your team, so when I was a 5-year-old manager in my team, I had someone with, let's say, 1 year experience or 2 year experience. So there is a lot to learn and there is a lot to train.
Correct.
Then when you become 20-year-old manager, then in your team, there are so many people with 12 years, 15 years, 16 years experience. There is very less to train and there is very less to learn.
Right.
So, right, so this 20 and 16 and 15, they are just numbers. But someone who is 15 years doing testing and someone who is 18 years doing testing, it's very hard to distinguish between both of them. You
Right.
just say, okay, you are senior because you are 3 years more into IT. But technology wise, all are
Both are
relatively
clear.
same. So then the company offered me to become a delivery manager. And because I was away from development for almost a 15 years, I was like very hesitant. I said, look, I'm a QA all my life. I am all my international profile is because of testing. And now
Correct.
you are asking me to lead developers, and I cannot discuss technology with them now, right? I was a C++, Java guy. These guys are doing coding in Salesforce and IoTs and AI related and Python and other stuff. I don't know these languages.
Right.
So, but my company is no, you can do it. You have that, you can command those people, people respect you. And by God's grace, I think last 6 years, I'm as a delivery manager also, handling big accounts, as I mentioned earlier. And so far, so good. Everything happening so. So I think this is all my journey. Two journeys went in parallel, my professional journey and my speaking journey. But ultimately, both are related to each other.
Correct.
I find my stories working in MetaQ, and whatever I gain from those stories speaking outside, I apply those things back into my MetaQ projects.
All right. And we can clearly see that throughout. So throughout so far your journey, like you have explored every part of the software industry with every role, and you have contributed in many ways. So that is really very inspiring, because when your path is not fixed, then you will get a lot of opportunity. Otherwise, like, you will stick to one part, that yes, this is the thing that
Very
you want
true.
to do. So this
Very
is
true.
all right. But Vipin, here I would like to ask one question, because whenever there is a discussion regarding the testing, most of the people see testing as the last step for the software lifecycle. But you have made it as a strategic pillar. So how do you make stakeholders care about the quality from the day one when they start building the project?
That's again a very good question. And I think again the perspectives are different here.
Hmm.
Someone who is a tester, 5 years, 6 years experienced person, his goal is to give, let's say, a bug-free software, a bug-free release on the production to make the customers happy,
Right.
right? And customer, when they see the work, when they see the automation scripts, when they see the Jira tickets, they see that okay, these are well written, good things, and the developers also tend to do the same. They want to write a code which works perfectly fine.
Hmm.
That, but people who document things, they also tend to do the same.
Right.
Create good documents, right? And the people who do the DevOps and other stuff. So what I'm trying to say is people who are like about 10 years experience, who are still doing all the technical work day in, day out, all of those people's goal is to give bug-free softwares,
Correct.
right? And this is controlled by your sprints and your Jira tickets and regressions and scripts and everything. When you go into management roles like me, uh, of course, bug-free software is the first thing that we have to do. But from day one, even when your first sprint hasn't started, even when the first ticket is not decided, like what would the customers want into their releases and what is the roadmap for 6 months or 3 months, the first thing that I try to do is give the customers confidence, give the customers a comfort that yes, you are in right hands, your work will be given to you, you should have full confidence in me and my abilities. I am the person available to you 24/7. Whenever you are stuck, you can call me at any point, at any time in the day or night. I will be the person whose phone is always on. And then I will take care that my developers, my testers, my DevOps people, my management, my accounts people, all of these people are delivering what you want
Correct.
at appropriate times. They should also be confident in me when I say this cannot be done into this release.
Okay.
Because this thing I am not saying because we don't want to work. This is I'm saying because I know that my team's capacity, even if they work on weekends, let's say, is not enough to take extra ticket into that particular sprint.
Correct.
Sometimes business say, no, we want this ticket. So then you have to go in the call and very politely, but very tactfully and very logically and very technically, you have to explain to them why this cannot be done.
Correct.
So if you can have that sense of confidence between both of them, that sense of trust between the customers and yourself, right? Then one ticket here or one ticket there doesn't matter because then the customers know that whatever we are committing and whatever they will be getting and whatever the dates they have to wait for that thing, they will get everything bug free on that particular date to the at the topmost quality that can be delivered.
Okay.
Then the projects grow, then the technology grow, and then the team is also happy because the team is also not getting pressurized from customers.
Agree.
So this is something where uh, from my side, of course, we are in the IT world, so technology always remains number one, right?
Correct.
If you are not technical, you cannot deliver, right? But above technology, I think everyone has to be very confident and very motivated in whatever they are doing. So customers should not pressurize the team. The team should not do false commitments or wrong commitments to the
Mm.
customers.
Right.
And all this responsibility actually lies between the team leads to the team leads because we are the bridge between the customers and my teams.
Team,
I
right?
cannot make customers happy and making my team angry, and I cannot make my team angry and making customers unhappy. I have to
Correct.
find a balance.
Correct.
This I try to give them from day one. And again, by God's grace and all my trainings and which I got from my managers and other stuff, uh, I am able to achieve this.
Okay. And we can clearly see that from your decades of experience and you have contributed a lot for this community as a tester or as a QA manager. But I would like to ask one question here. Suppose one day you had a unlimited resources to reinvent any of the testing process. So what one radical change you would plan to make, and what how you will be deliver it?
That's a very tricky question because I share my own thoughts about what lots of processes that need to be changed in all
Okay.
across my journey. I keep seeing different things from various perspectives. But to answer you, like one thing that I want to change is, which is still, I would say, a lot of problems happening across the teams is dependence on requirements.
Okay.
Still today, developers develop something which is not written in the requirements, or developers miss something which is not written in the acceptance criteria. Then the testers say that all the AC points are running fine, but there are more impact areas which is not written in the requirements. The business analyst sometimes they don't agree to what developers and testers say, and when everything goes on production, then the business comes in and then they say that uh, this is developed incomplete or this is tested incomplete, and then people reply that this was done because the requirements were incomplete. So it's a very manual task.
Correct.
I What I want to change here is something which is automatic. Maybe the use of AI. I don't know how. Maybe use of some tools, but the requirements gathered and captured should be, I would say, very atomic. It should be very minute, right? Many a times people just come in and say that we want this to be done one with a one-liner requirement. And when developers and testers read that and expands it, it actually became, let's say, from one story pointer to five story pointers or eight story pointers. And
Okay.
this entire thing actually gets delayed. It cannot be released because one story point work versus a eight story point work is a completely different ball game.
Hmm.
And there are always disputes, there are always arguments in the meetings between business analysts, business owners, and the real testers and developers.
Okay.
So I somehow want to remove this requirement from this cycle and find a different way where the requirements can be captured, gathered, and put across the developers and the testers in a very minute ways, very clear ways, uh, which anyone can read and clearly understands what all I need to develop, what all I need to test, where all I need to make changes.
Correct.
If those things can be done, I think software's quality level will go to a next level.
Okay. All right. So, so far, like Vipin, we discussed like how you started, what you are doing right now, and all the ways in which you are contributing for the IT industry. But here, I would like to talk bit about the changes, because in one of your
Mhm.
posts, you have spoken about one incident which which took on 14th August 2024, where you
Oh,
met with one accident, and then it
mm.
was a very turning point for your life, right? So could you please tell a bit about that incident? What was it all about, and how it has impacted your journey?
Okay. That's a bit, I would say, deep inside. But I would again would like to share. So,
Mhm.
14th of August last year, 2024, I went to Delhi airport to pick my son. He's a student in Germany.
Okay.
And morning 8:30, I picked him and we came back from Delhi Mumbai Expressway
Mhm.
uh, at about 10:30 or 10:35 a.m. Um, Possibly I lost control of the car.
Okay.
Maybe I dozed off. I don't still remember. And then we collided with the divider, and then the car broke the divider. We went down. about 20 feet, because that's a raised road, elevated road, and we went down and we crashed a wall. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so that is fine. That's the accident part. But and I broke my left hand from various places, and I my right hand had got a lot of nervous injuries.
Okay.
And these were the two major things. Apart from these, there were small bruises here and there. My son broke one of his legs and dislocated one of his hips. And other than that, he also got some few injuries here and there. Nothing serious.
Okay.
I would say nothing serious. No internal injuries. So 2 days we stayed in Delhi Hospital, Medanta, and then 15 days we were in Jaipur, Fortis. And till we were in hospital, it was like, okay, we got some injuries, we got couple of fractures, which will heal in couple of months, right?
Mm-hmm.
We came back to our house in September, and from there, a real struggle began.
Okay.
And the struggle was, I cannot use my hands. One hand was all in plaster. The other hand, because of nervous injuries, I cannot raise okay, leave aside the word raise. I cannot move my fingers.
Okay.
And that was the right hand, which is my working hand.
Mm-hmm.
I am 51 years old and I am a right-hander all my life. So imagine you are a right-hander for 51 years and now you cannot even move your hand.
Right.
Left hand you can move, but it's all in plaster. Then after 2 months, the plaster went away. The left hand didn't have a lot of power at that time. Right hand, the physio started, and then there was a lot of exercises happening, very basic exercises, right? Till December, I was not even able to hold a pencil in my right hand.
Okay.
My fingers were numb, my hand was numb. Uh, so, and then on my bed, adjacent to my bed here, my son was lying down uh, because he got this hip dislocated. He cannot even stand. I was actually able to stand and walk to washroom or for outside my room, couple of
Mm-hmm.
steps. But for 64 days, he was on his bed, completely lying down. And all my thought process at that time was not about will I be able to work with my hands. It was like I am still 50 years old. I have seen the world a little bit,
Right.
but he is a very small guy, right? He's just a 20-year-old boy. He
Mm.
has just started seeing the world, started his education. What will happen with him? And when he got very strong manifestation that I want to go back to Germany in December.
Okay.
And that manifestation actually got him standing back on his legs. He was limping, but he was walking. He was walking with the help of a stick. He was walking with the help of various other things. He was doing all exercises. Traction was on his leg. It was very painful. He was sometimes shouting in pain. So we both, father and son, lying next to each other, uh, we were like giving solace to each other. We were cracking jokes to each other. Sometimes we are crying together. But all the thought was on him. And as soon as he went back to Germany in December end, suddenly all the thought came back on myself. Okay, what will I make now with my life?
Right.
How will I work? Will I be able to work? Although my left hand was okay at that time. But when I say okay, it was even hard to type something on mobile
Mm.
because I never typed on the mobile using my left hand. I never combed my hair using my left hand. And
Correct.
then there was a guy whom we hired. He was my care for the entire 24 hours.
Okay.
So there was someone who is brushing my teeth. There is someone who is combing my hair. There is someone who is shaving my face and other stuff. And I was like, will I be always dependent on someone else?
Mm.
And I'm not sick. I just met with an accident. I can
Right.
always come back. And that feeling, plus what my son started doing back in Germany from January, he was limping, but he was walking towards college.
Okay.
He was struggling with sitting and but he was cooking his own food, right? He started doing his work slowly. I said I have to start by doing my own work.
Right.
So very small wins. If you remember, if you have seen a very small kid, when he comes to you and say that, you know, today I wrote ABCD using my right hand for the first time. I experienced the same thing when I wrote ABCD for the first time with my left hand. I experienced the same thing when I tie the knot of my shoes, the laces. I experienced the same thing when I comb my hair, when I shaved for the first time, when I buttoned my shirt, when I put my shoes in my leg. Everything. And still today. But that manifestation, that willpower, that motivation helped me in sending my help back to his home in January end. And last 5 to 6 months, I'm literally doing everything on my own.
Okay.
I even drove a car just for 3 kilometers. And during this entire journey from day one till now, why I was able to do this? The real answer is not friends or family members or just the Facebook or WhatsApp wishes around you, things that motivate you. I
Right.
had never found a single
Correct.
person in this journey who said that, Vipin, you cannot do this. Everyone is like, oh, wow, you are able to do this. Now try this. No one ever pitied on me. No one said that we are trying to help you because you cannot do it. No one actually showed any kind of emotions that which made me weak. So I know my very close friends and my family members, they might have cried outside, not in front of me.
Not in front of you.
So that power, and in the beginning I said that if you take all my degrees aside, I am a people's person. I
People's
love
person.
people around me and I have networking. So those people around me, that made me stand today. And in the post that I wrote on LinkedIn, I always said that it's very important that you have to earn people, you have to earn friends. Money
Correct.
will fade, the friendship remains.
Agree. All right. So yeah, like although we have plenty of things that we can discuss with Vipin, but we are short on time. So I just want to say thanks once again to Vipin for joining us in this episode and for sharing so much information about his career journey and the, I would say, the rebirth of your life, because it was a kind of rebirth for you. But still, you take care of all those things and you came up uh, with the new opportunities and new initiatives. So thank you once again for being a part of the show, Vipin.
Thank you.